Morning, everyone. This is Craig, the Computer Geek here, and this week in our Friday forum, we've got Glenn Polly from Own It Finance. G'day, Glenn.
G'day, hey, how you going?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. All right, so Glenn's a mortgage broker with Own It Finance, as I said, and this morning, Glenn, I'd like to ask you a bit about yourself, your background. What is it that you do? How long you've been in business, and what's your unique selling point?
Ooh, okay. My working background began as a mortgage broker 2002 when I first started.
Yeah.
Before that, I worked mostly in retail.
Yeah.
I have extensive experience also in real estate, some finance, and also some publishing.
Excellent. And your unique selling point, what makes Own It Finance the place to go if you're thinking about seeing a mortgage broker?
I guess it's the fact that I've got a lot of experience personally with property and other financial experiences, and I can use those experiences to help others to achieve their goals. That can be finding their first home, it could be upgrading, downsizing to a smaller property, and a lot of my clients buy their first property and start getting some investment properties afterwards fairly quickly because we put things in place that can do that for them.
Okay, excellent. Now everybody these days needs to use IT systems. What is it that you guys use here in your office?
Okay, we use our aggregators CRM, customer relationships management system, and we use that for our entire management of the whole mortgage process and recording.
Yeah.
It's compatible with the Microsoft Office system, so the two systems work quite nicely.
Each other, yeah.
Yeah. I believe that we're going to be also being able to use some iPads to be able to capture various documents,
Yeah.
and also for customers to be able to sign privacies and things like that.
Okay.
That hopefully should reduce a little bit of time and paperwork. So yeah, that should be good.
Yeah, I guess that you were talking about, the next question I want to ask you is what challenges do you have with those systems, and what do you do to mitigate those challenges? So the tablets will certainly help make things easier, but what else do you actually do?
Oh, well, I guess one of our major problems we have right now is documents and systems not all being the same. So when you somebody will send you some supporting documents and they've said, oh, here's my 20 pages, and we find out that they're receiving them as pictures, so we have to open them individually and handle them and
so
stuff
instead
like
of a
that.
PDF, which will all be in the same file.
Yeah, so
Right.
that can be a little bit frustrating. I guess, well, you work in computers, you know that they all fail from time to time. That's perfectly normal. I guess if after turning everything on and back on again it doesn't work, we call you. So so that
Okay.
that generally works.
Great.
That's the one. Yep.
Okay. All right. Finally, so just as a mortgage broker, for somebody that is wanting to come in, buy their first property, or as you mentioned, buy an investment property. Perhaps the empty nesters, want to downsize a little bit because it's getting a bit hard to maintain the house and so on. What general advice or tips can you give for your potential customers? Because there's so much information out there. You get bombarded with this, that, and the other thing from left, right, and centre, from the banks and so on. So, what should people do first when they're looking at taking out a loan to buy some property?
Oh yeah, well, I guess the first thing is deciding to actually buy the property is the first thing. There's a very old saying that the best time to buy real estate was 5 years ago. You can say that now, you can say it 10 years' time, people will still say the same thing.
Yeah.
We found that to be very true. We encourage most folks to buy some property as soon as they can.
Yeah.
These days there's lots of incentives for people to get their first home.
Yeah.
So take advantage of those is always good. But also too, there's loads of other strategies that you can use to buy property. We're also finding now that a lot of young people are buying a property very early but they're not moving out of mum and dad's home. They're actually buying the property as an investment.
Yeah.
They still enjoy mum and dad's company, or mum and dad enjoy them.
And there's the bank of mum and dad as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's as one young lady said. She says, "Mum's a bit like an ATM. If I push the right buttons, I can usually get money out of it." So yeah, but before you take the plunge, it's always good to talk to a broker who can guide you through those maze.
Yeah.
There's loads of options out there for getting the funds. And if you already have a home loan or an investment home loan for a few years, it's good to talk to a broker to
So a
check.
bit of a sanity check on it. Yeah.
Yeah, check that it's still doing the right thing. We look at our existing clients regularly to make sure that it's still right. So if you're not a client of ours and you'd like someone to give you an honest opinion of the loan that you got, if it's still working for you. If it is, great, leave it as it. Don't change something if it's not broken. But if your situation's changed or your needs have changed, even if you're going to stay in the same property, sometimes you can just by either tweaking the loan or getting one lender to compete against another.
Yeah.
You can save 4, 5, 6 years off of your loan repayments. So if your goal is to have the house paid for by the time you retire, nice if you can have it paid for well before that.
Yeah. So, can you tell us a bit more about the first homeowners grant? So, how does that apply? What's the amount that you get, and are there any sort of caveats on that?
Yeah, look, it does vary from state to state. Most states will offer you between $7,000 and $10,000 towards buying your first home, and most of those you will need to be a new property or one that nobody's actually lived in before. That can be an actual house that's been built, or it can also be an apartment. Or something that's been extensively refurbished.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be something off the plan?
No, you can, in fact, off the plan purchases, some people are really afraid of those because they can't see what it is.
Yeah.
So there are builders out there who are building properties and they're selling them when they are complete. However, I guess most of the bargains are when you are buying it off the plan, because the builder can construct it using your bank's money rather than their own, and so they typically pass on the savings. There's lots of different options out there. As I said, you can also be a new apartment, very popular right now, but it depends what you're after. Generally what we would normally do is sit down with a client and first of all work out how much they can borrow.
Yeah.
Once they know how much they can borrow, then usually they can start looking at the places that are available both right now and sometimes a bit later. Sometimes too, it's sometimes people don't always take the first homeowners grant. There are some bargains to be had out there in properties that are not eligible. So therefore, sometimes people won't take a new place. And also too, the ACT government has a system where you can actually pay off your stamp duty if you would normally qualify.
Okay. Excellent. This is some great advice, Glenn. So thanks very much for having us out here today. And for all our listeners, stay tuned for next week's episode of Friday Forum. Thanks again, Glenn.
Thank you, Craig. Great speaking to you.